And I'm back. This time with another After the Spotlight, and this time it's of You Again, which has to be one of my least popular videos ever. I don't think it's a stunningly low amount of people watch that video. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But anywho, I just saw this movie, and this was not very good. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't a horrible, awful movie. And that, for that matter, it wasn't even a bad movie. It just was a little I wouldn't say underwhelming, because it didn't really know what it was trying to be. At the start, you think it's going to be like a cute comedy about high school, and then they switch gears, and it looks like sometimes it's a romantic comedy, sometimes it's like a drama, and sometimes it's like it didn't have a static genre it was aiming at. I mean, I've heard people call this a romantic comedy, but there's not a lot of romance in it, and not even a lot of comedy. There's not a lot of jokes in this movie. Most of the jokes come from like awkward moments in the movie, like when the family's together and like you know what I'm talking about, like a lot of awkward jokes, kind of like in no, not like Shrek 2. Shrek 2 was nothing but awkward jokes. This movie, the highlight of the movie is the four-way dance-off between Kristen Bell, Odette Yustman, and Jamie Lee Curtis and Sigourney Weaver. That is the best part of the movie, and it has some really hilarious stuff in it, and dancing scenes are almost always funny. But this movie, there were a lot of people in this movie that didn't have much to do, like Betty White. They underused Betty White in this movie. I think like the only reason she was in the movie was just as a ticket to get people to see the movie because of her SNL stardom. And like the whole rivalry between Jamie Lee Curtis and Sigourney Weaver, it didn't have enough. It was introduced so late in the movie, and it didn't have enough weight on it. That was the problem. The most of the movie belongs to Kristen Bell and Odette Yustman. And Odette Yustman, I love you and everything, but you cannot sing to save your life, girl. I am sorry. I was just cringing when that scene came up. It was awful. I am sorry, Odette, but... Fun fact, most of you may not know this, Odette Yustman was a girl in Transformers who got her face snatched by the robotic steering wheel. She's also the girl at the beginning of The Holiday, if you've ever seen that movie, who shows up to make out for 10 seconds. So there, you learned something today. I'm trying to educate you with my videos lately. But, it's just, there weren't a lot of jokes, and the movie got needlessly, just got overly dramatic near the end. There's this incredibly long period of time where it's like nothing but drama, and then they go to a little tiny scene that has like some jokes, and then more drama, and then there's just like, it keeps going on, and they keep switching back and forth. And another problem with this movie, your main character, Marnie, played by Kristen Bell, if you've seen the trailer, which I imagine if you're watching this video you have, it's just, you think it's like her trying to get back at her old high school rival, but no, she's trying to ruin a wedding, and the film makes a point of this. She's trying to ruin her brother's wedding, and it's just, like I said, those needless drama scenes only emphasize this, and she does end up ruining the wedding, and I probably should have put a spoiler warning here, and it's just, when you see like how this affects Odette Yustman and her character and her brother's character, or her brother I should say, it's just, you realize that Marnie is just an awful person. She's wrecking her brother's wedding just for her own benefit. And, it's really, how can you root for something like that? It's like, kind of like Sandra Bullock in All About Steve. She's a psychopath, and you're supposed to root for her. Marnie, it's not extreme. She is somewhat relatable. But it's just, in the end, she's trying to ruin a wedding, and you can't root for someone who's trying to ruin a wedding unless you just can't root for someone who's trying to ruin a wedding. It's as simple as that. So that's where the movie is really weak. That's a real big strong weak point of the movie. Also, there's a needless, completely pointless complication in like the last 2 minutes of the movie. That no, I'm just gonna spoil it because it's a scene there's a family treehouse where Marty, her brother, and her younger brother hang out, and and the kid her younger brother is trying to take apart the treehouse, and like Odette Yustman and Marty's older brother are up there, and and the whole treehouse crashes down, and they end up in the hospital in like the last 2 minutes, and there's no point to it whatsoever, and the only thing that affects the plot at all, they say, oh, we're gonna have to delay the wedding because you're in the hospital, but they end up getting married like the next day anyway in the hospital. So it's pretty pointless, and it's just, I hate pointless detours, because that just shows how lazy your movie is. And this wasn't a completely lazy movie. It's kind of like Iron Man 2. It was not the best, but it wasn't a total loss. As I said, the four-way dance-off is the highlight of the movie, and that had some good jokes. And there were a lot of cameos in this movie. A lot of cameos. I was surprised. And you should probably keep score at home if you like of all the cameos. But this was neither a bad movie nor a good movie. It definitely was not a good movie, but it wasn't horrible. It's in between. It's the in-between movie. It has some moments, but tiny moments. They're all scattered throughout. But ultimately, the biggest problem with the movie is that your protagonist is just very mean-spirited, and your pointless detour at the end. Those are the two biggest weaknesses in the movie, and had those been removed, I probably would have given this movie a strong 3 or 4 star rating. But this gets 2 stars because it's just is it's kind of a weak movie. There's not a whole lot of substance in it, but I don't know. Should you see it? If you're looking for like a cutesy kind of fun movie, well, not really fun, but like a cute movie, you should see this, but don't expect a lot out of it. There are some laughs here and there, but it's not a giant, big, fun comedy. That belongs to Easy A. I say you should probably see, if it comes between you again and Easy A, see Easy A. But this, I'd say it's a harmless movie. You can tell there was effort put into it. It's just not enough. So, that's my review. I'm Frenzy227, here to distract you from the fact that I'm not wearing pants.